All right. Well, welcome to our third meeting at the State Beekeepers Guild. You know, when I first had this meeting, I equated this to having my firstborn child. You know, so my firstborn child, and now she's 3 months old just today. So she's starting to take on her personalities, and you know, everything's starting to come together, and all her vintages are starting to work and stuff like that. But we still need a lot of help. Together we can do a lot of things. The lady from Choctaw City Council that runs the gardens on the south side of 23rd Street there in the Sculpture Garden, she has contacted me twice so far again since our last meeting, asked me when I'm going to take those over. I keep telling her, give me some time. So if you guys are interested in gardening, please come see me. We'll get that going. I think it'll be a big project. We can we'll have signs and the whole 9 yards of the pollinator gardens. My wife lives up in Joplin. She does all the pollinating stuff in our family, but she's taking care of her grandmother. So it's kind of hard for me here to do this. So let's, I guess, just get right into it. Okay, certified naturally grown. The reason why we chose this program is because it has been put together by several different people. It's a grassroots organization. It's basically an alternative to organic being or certified organic that us little people can afford. They were founded back in 2002 by a bunch of New York farmers. Of course, New York, who would have thought that. They're committed to organic practices. They sought alternatives tailored to small farms, center-based national organic programs, independent nonprofit organization. Nearly 800 certified members today. Now, this was done quite a while ago. There are over almost 1,000 or more now. So we're trying to get the numbers up. I've had a lot of contact with them. They're just amazed that we here in Oklahoma are wanting to have a good group of people that's dedicated to their practices. So I brought in today the declarations and the declarations for the how to become a certified naturally grown operator, and also how the first inspection, you have to get 2 inspections to become certified. So we want to get that done. We'd really like you guys to consider go ahead and sign that today. And at the end of the day, we'll sign. We'll take a picture and send it to them that we all are interested in doing this. If y'all want to do that. How CNG is different from the National Organic Program. It's basically for small farmers, people that can afford the thousands of dollars it takes to be national organic and all that paperwork and everything to do. It's a peer review inspection. We're all volunteers. Basically, it means that I can go out to your farm, inspect your hives, and say, yep, you check all the boxes, you're good to go. We send that in to them, they review it, they're happy with it, you're certified. You have to pay a small membership fee. Since we're beekeepers, I think it's like $200 is what they request from farmers. But with beekeepers, it's a minimum of $50. You know, so if we get a break on that, because they know all we're always small farmers, we're making a lot of money off our stuff. They've been endorsed by the International Federation of Organic Agricultural Movements. That's pretty nice. These are some of the people that went into making this whole thing possible. It was a couple-year process. If you look over this, you know a lot of these names. I'm terrible about how to pronounce names, but we have Ross, we have Kim, we have Diana. They all write articles. You probably know who all these people are. Diana, she wrote Beekeeper's Handbook, one of the books I request or tell people to read when they become a beekeeper. Jennifer Berry. If you were here last week, she's the one that designed or basically developed that varroa mite control. We handed out last week. If you want more information, I'll get to it in the meeting. But these are very well-known people. PhDs. I mean, that wasn't put together lightly. All right, our primary focus is on bee health. Secondary is honey production, which I believe that's what we should all be concerned about, is how are the bees doing, and the honey and the wax and all that stuff comes along after, that's the bonus. But the bees are our main concern. We always want to use organic principles. All right, so this kind of gives you a little bit of issues of conventional agriculture. Health issues, there's 29 types of cancer associated with agrochemicals. Fertility and birth defects, effects of all life as well as humans. Water pollution, monoculture, chemicals destroy the microscopic organisms in the soil. You know, just if you equate it, you think of this one little place and then equate that out to the entire U.S., it's really astronomical, the chemicals that they're putting on our lands. You know, so we want to fight that, and because it doesn't just destroy the thing above the soil, it's below the soil. And it's below the soil what everything comes out of. You know, it's amazing. And they have just started recently actually studying the soil and the thousands and millions of microorganisms and all that stuff's in the soil, which kind of amazes me because that's where everything comes from. But they're starting to do that in different realms. You know, also the big one everybody hears of is help me out, Kim. Chemical.
Glyphosate?
Yeah, glyphosate. Roundup. That's one of the biggest ones because it runs into all the streams. It kills fish. You know, the big fish die-offs and all that stuff. That's generally caused by chemical runoff. And it's just not chemicals. It's oil and gas. There's tons and tons of stuff that runs onto the water systems, and it kills everything. You kill, let's say, for instance, you remember when everybody was growing up, there was horny toads running everywhere around here. You could always go out there and see horny toads. Let's start spraying all these pesticides and herbicides on these crops. Well, that's where all the horny toads live. Well, to kill all the bugs that reach crops, right? Well, they did that. They successfully killed all the bugs, but then the horny toads ended up to live on. So now they're dying out. All the horny toads are dying out. You know, so it's a chain reaction. No one really thinks about. Some more stuff you can enter pollen, the comb. We have certain practices we'll go through of how to mitigate some of the pesticides and stuff that build up in your comb over a time. And a lot of people don't even think about it, but you know, if a bee goes up to a field, he's sprayed with a glyphosate or I want to say WD-40 Roundup. It really messes with their direction. They don't get back to the hive. They don't know where to go. They can't, go find the food. It's neurological. It's really messes a lot of things up. Then the bad thing about it, then take the ones that do make it back, bring it back into pollen and nectar. So then they're feeding the babies the pollen and nectar that are contaminated. So they're defects. So basically, over a period of time, your colonies become disformed, and it's kind of like having a nuclear bomb dropped on them. You know, they're all deformed and deformed wing virus, and this doesn't develop, that doesn't develop. So it's very far-reaching. That's why it's so important that we keep everything as natural as possible, because we can't mitigate everything that happens in the world, but we can do what we can ourselves. Okay. These miticides on mites, antibiotics, there's a lot of stuff, and all these called like we were talking about. It's just a chain reaction. The more stuff they have to deal with out there, the more stuff they have to process, they have to do with it. You know, the human body doesn't know what to do with a lot of the poisons that we come encounter with, so our body stores them. And that's why a lot of people are sick, I believe. It comes across some kind of chemical, but I don't know how to flush it out, so it just stores in your fat cells. So basically, you're carrying around all the chemicals and stuff in your body. It makes you sick, and immune systems and everything else. It's the same thing with the bees. CNG Apiary certification. It provides the guidelines to manage your bees, quick reference lists of allowed and prohibited substances, better access for small grocery stores, provides custom insurance, no synthetic chemicals or antibiotics ever used in the hive. Beekeepers prioritize honeybee health, not the honey. Think beyond the money or beyond the honey and save the bees. That's one of my mottos. So, we really need to focus on the bees. Without the bees, we can't do any of this. If you go through the guide, everything is color coded. Green for go, so you can use it. Yellow for don't use it very often. Red, don't use it at all. I like that because, if you're not where a lot of people are right now, totally organic or certified or whatever, you get your guidance on how to get there. And there's a program where you can, over time, transition into being certified and being more natural grown. The standards allow for range of reasonable choices, includes transition tables for apiaries with previous chemical exposure. Basic standards. It's line by line what you can do. It's very, very in depth. Where you position your hives, your frames, your foundation, hive construction, frames, foundation, your queens, and bee sourcing, supplemental feed, wax process, colonies. It's basically a one-step place you can go to find answer basically all your questions. If I ever have a question about anything, I go directly to this book, and that's where I get my answers from. If I don't have an answer here from, I go find my other sustainable beekeeper mentor and ask him and see what he says. So you find your mentor, so over time you figure everything out. Treatment specific pests and diseases. We treat everything. There's a treatment for everything that we come into contact with: varroa mite, tracheomites, the foul bruise, nosema, chalkboard, the viral diseases, flax moth, smalleye beetles. They really went in depth and told you how you could do this as naturally. These are all the prohibited substances in a hive that contaminate. If you see something to use on this list, that's okay. We can transition you out of that process and get something better to use. Fumagillin B as well is a go-to. A lot of people go to for nosema. We have creative alternative treatments for that. And all this stuff I'm going to list in the handbook. These are allowed substances, and you use your formic acid, your Apiary, your Apivar, Apilite Vara, Apigard, your essential oils. They just discourage using them, but that's what we have to use, so we use them. They're okay with it. It's not when you use your essential oils, and I'll go this a little bit later. It's like any other chemical. If you eat too much candy, you're gonna get sick. You get too much of that, you're gonna get sick. But with essential oils, that fit in your food every day. You're already eating those, so it's okay for the bees. They're food grade. Your powdered sugars, apple cider vinegar, boric acid for your hive, your small hive beetle traps, sugar syrup, and fall substitutes. And this is a hive transition tables. So basically, they give you step-by-step instructions on how you can clean your hives up and then continue with them being more natural. And this is how we mark our frames, so we know, so we can mitigate the pesticide buildup inside the comb. Mark all the frames and the brood chamber according to the year they were placed in service. And we release 20% of the wax per year, so that no brood wax is older than 5 years. Frames are cheap, and that's where all the pesticides are stored. So, this says 5 years. I want a 3-year plan. So, that's just what I do. You can do what you want to do. That's what I do. So for varroa mite, adequate ventilation. The treatments are administered. Report records must be kept of infestation levels and treatments. So basically, you have your hive inspection sheet. You can write all this information down on that. And you can keep records of it. I've developed a hive inspection sheet that I'm still working on, but as soon as I get that finished, I want to make sure everybody gets a copy of it because it's got a lot of information on it. And to try to get to a row, this is some of the stuff that they recommend. Sensitive hygienics, everybody knows BSS behavior. They do allow acylic acid only when there's little or no brood present. You're going to put oxalic acid in there anyway with the brood most generally, and it doesn't do any good. So we have ways of making the hive broodless without losing your queen. You know, we did that last week or last month. We'll probably go that some more later on. I don't know, maybe next month. How to make splits, using open screen bottom boards, monitor your hive every 6 weeks from in the mic peak. Civil do the sugar roll. You can use, if you want to go a little more in depth, you can use alcohol wash, or even cheaper than that, you can use a windshield washer fluid. Now that kills the bees. And actually the sugar roll is the most effective because it actually gets in there and actually makes the roll much release, because they can't, it gets too compact in there. It takes longer. You have to, let the bee sit in longer to work on it. But according to Dr. Ramsey, that's his preferred method to check for how much. You can, drone brood track and removal. Of course, powder sugar dust, you can just throw that in there and let them clean themselves. They use Hopgar, oxalic, lactate, and formic acid. These other two chemicals in small cell foundation. Most of us know with bromide, they like the drone cells because they're bigger and they get more eggs in there and a longer gestation period. So you can just simply pull your drone brood, put a drone brood from them and pull it. You give it to your chickens or a friend that has chickens. Good protein for little chickens. And this is all the stuff that you're not allowed to use. A lot of people use this, lost checkmate, Apistan, Marvic, all this other stuff. You just use it, don't use it. How can I say this without being common sense? If you would put it in your body, don't put it on your leaves. That's kind of like I would take a checkmate strip and bite into it, or I don't even know how. I don't know our bodies, so I don't know how it's done. But and the deal is they allow you to transition. It's not as though you got to be this way and that's it. But you come in, the transition, you work you through the process, so it makes it a lot simpler to go for someone that's used all the commercial chemicals that everybody told us to use all the years to transition to these more natural ways. Okay, this is the process on how to become certified. Declaration page, like I was saying earlier, that I asked everyone to sign, and we'll take a picture of everybody that signed it, and we can send it to them so they can put it in their website or whatever they want to do with it. Membership dues, it's what you can pay. I said $50 my first year, so this is what you can pay. On-site inspections by local beekeepers, even if they're not CNG. We're so limited in how many beekeepers there are certified naturally grown that they allow a non-certified beekeeper to come in and inspect your hives. Because if you look at the list, it's verbatim. That's all the questions. It's this, that, no, yes, or whatever. So anybody can do it, but that's for another beekeeper to do it because of the beekeepers know these. I had someone call me and ask me to go inspect their mushrooms. I don't know about mushrooms, but I was like, hey, sure, why not? I'll go, it's a checklist. I'll do it. So I emailed them. I said, this is what's going on. Is it possible for me to do this? And I said, no. It has somebody else that does that specific thing. So if you're a mushroom grower, you do mushrooms. If you're vegetables, you do vegetables. They want the person that's inspecting to have knowledge of the product. And they're asked that everybody at the CNG to pitch in and inspect other people's hives. I think with a 2-hour drive from you, they want you to go take care of it. Beekeeper, we all help each other, so that's not a big deal. online tools. Once you become certified, or if you want to go see who's certified, you can go to the website, look up the list. I will tell you this, in preparing for this presentation, I went out there and was checking the website, and they pulled me down off the website. I was like, okay, well, what's going on? So I called them. Well, I did not get both of my inspection reports in. I only sent them one. And since I didn't get two of them in, they pulled it down because I wasn't in with their guidelines. So I got I got the other inspection into them, and I'll be back on here pretty soon, they said. But that's how diligent they are. You know, it's not a fly-by-night deal. They're very serious about making sure that their producers do what they say and follow their guidelines. And I mean, I've got this talk to a couple other groups over one's up in Tulsa. Actually, this is my second time with this one. So up in Tulsa, and I've been with them and call them all the time, and they still remove me. So they don't care. They'll make sure the rules are followed. Anyway, you pull the map up and you can see who's all certified in your area. When I pulled it up, there's only one that's listed. And right now, I was the first one, but pulled me off. There's one listed. She's up in Tulsa, but she hasn't got her inspections completed yet either. So it's good that she gets her inspections done. It's yes.
You said you gotta have two inspections, that's by two different beekeepers?
Yes.
So that's why it's been part of our problem so far, is just because there's not enough people to go out and inspect?
That too, and I've been so busy, I just.
Well, that's what I mean, it's
like,
not like you and the chick in Tulsa and that's it.
Yeah, well, but you don't have to be certified to inspect.
Right.
Tech can inspect me, or whoever, another beekeeper can inspect me. It's just that I did not get it done in time. I've been doing a lot of stuff, guys. Yes.
So when you go out to inspect, what are you looking for?
Did you pick up one of the inspections, the declarations on the very top page? Behind you, back on the rest of that document. The rest of that document is inspection, and it's all the questions that's asked, all the boxes you have to check, the stuff you have to, all the questions you ask, everything. So you just take that and do your inspection. You open up the hive, make sure they're doing the frame, their brood frames like they're supposed to be, they're numbered, all that stuff. You're just going there, just basically making sure they're doing what they say they're doing.
Okay.
And it's very important for us to make sure that we're all held accountable to each other. If I go out to your hive and say, hey, this isn't good enough, do better next time. No, that's not satisfactory. You need to make sure you make that change, then I'll sign off on it. Because we're our own review board. No one else is doing it. And we're only as good as the reviews, the people that are doing it. If somebody goes, oh yeah, you signed your name to it, what kind of reputation are you going to have?
Are you, as an inspector, required to certify anything? I mean, for instance, I know that we know beekeepers who are selling local Oklahoma honey that they're bringing in from out of state and rebottling. So how far do you have to go if you're going to inspect somebody else's stuff to make sure they're actually being compliant? Or do you just kind of have to believe what they say?
That's all up to that individual. I mean, you're not expecting their honey. You're not expecting what they're selling. You're expecting, this is the hive inspection. This is not their business practices.
Okay.
And everybody wants you to have good business practices. And if there's someone that not having good business practices, we need to say, hey, this isn't right. Okay, on the website, you'll have your contact information, farm locations on the map, your email button, the collection practices, sign declaration, and inspection reports. When they very first put this up, they put my address on there. And I was like, God, this is my home. I don't want people coming to my house on, any day of the week that want honey. So I said, just put my phone number on there, put my appointment only. They put my phone number, and that was it. They took my address off. So if there's something that you don't agree with, you don't like, just call them or write them an email, whatever, say, hey, can you change this? And they'll do it over backward for you. All right. Again, this is the handbook. We're selling this for $5 at the back of the room. If you know somebody that's not here today, please buy them a book, take it to them, and they can pay you back. So has anyone had Has anyone had a chance to look over the book? This is the end of the presentation, so we'll take about a 10 or 15 minute break to answer any questions. I want to go into Facebook Live, and then we'll come back. I got a lot of demonstrations to do.